Hi, I'm Hannah, and today we are taking a look at a couple of newer die sets from Waffle Flower. This one is the Happy Crabs die set. We've got a smaller and a larger crab. There are lots of detail pieces to add to them, as well as a ring and some gems. We have a shell and a flower. Looks like we have some eye detail pieces. And I also got this other set, the Pirate add-on set. I think this one is going to be a lot of fun too. So you can see here, we can build a treasure chest. There's a little pirate's hat, a hook. I think this is meant to be an eye patch. Treasure map, some coins. We've got a bottle of probably booze. Maybe this is pearls to hang out of the treasure chest. A couple of gems here. I'm not sure what these pieces are yet, but I think that these are going to make some really cute cards. And my plan for today is just to do some quick die cutting with white cardstock and then color these in. I'm not sure if they're going to make it all the way onto a card during this live or not, but I do think we can get some coloring done here. So I'm going to be using my Anna Griffin Empress machine for my die cutting. I just have some nice white cardstock here. When I'm coloring today, I am going to use my Spectrum Noir markers. They're alcohol markers. It is an older set. Some of them are no longer with us, but I have this handy color chart. I did refresh this within the last year because when I colored it originally, eventually the colors do fade over time. So I wanted to make sure that it was fresh, and then I laminated it, which is not great for the camera, but it is good for longevity of my chart. You can also see some X's here. Those are the ones that are dried up and no longer with us, but I'll be using this to decide what colors to use for my critters. All right, so I have some white cardstock here. I'm going to start with the crabs. They've attached the dies with double-sided tape. It's not my favorite, it's not my least favorite, just kind of what companies are doing now. The tape here is just, it's really sticky and it's really hard on my skin. So that's the part I don't like. I do appreciate though that the dies are pre-clipped and I don't have to cut them apart. I definitely appreciate that. So you can see I still have some room on my plate here, but I think I'm just gonna run this one set through and then I'll do the other one just to keep the pieces separate. My machine is slightly off camera and hopefully not too noisy. It's an electronic die cutting machine, which saves my wrists. And I don't have to crank everything through, so I really appreciate that. All right, let's pop all these pieces out. I like it when they stay in the paper and not in the die, but take what you can get. Okay, so most of them stayed in, that's good. And then what I'm gonna do is take a sheet of scratch paper and then I'll do my coloring just right on here. So I'll just take another moment to pop the rest of these pieces back. They don't necessarily need to be in the holes for the way that I color, but if they're in the holes, then I just leave them there. I cut off the bottom of that cardstock just so I can use it when I die cut again. And let's move some things out of the way. Hi, Susan. Hi, Dawn. How are you doing this lovely evening? It's kind of satisfying to pop these little pieces out. It doesn't usually take too much time. I do like it better when they just come out of the die on their own. It's hot here too. I am in Arizona and it's just over 100 today. We just came back from a camping trip. We went up north and it was in the 70s and it was amazing. It was so nice. And it was cold when we were sleeping. It was in the 40s. And now I'm back to the hot reality. Yeah, how hot is it there? I like all these little details with the holes cut out in the claws and in the shell. I think that's going to look really cool. It's a lot of little extra bits to get rid of, but yeah, I think that's going to look really neat. Crab, yes. We're making a couple of cute little crabs today. I think crabs are adorable. When I was little, I had a little hermit crab, and just like all of the other pets that I've had in my lifetime, I creatively named him. My hermit crab was named Hermie. I had a goldfish named Goldie. Oh, 80 and humid. Yeah, 85 to 95. That is too warm. I have a friend in New York City who said it's 105 in the subways right now. That is too hot. I'm trying not to complain too much about the heat because summer just started 2 days ago. I'm like, oh, if it's already this hot now, am I gonna survive another summer? We were supposed to be on vacation. I said we just came back from a nice camping trip. My husband had knee surgery, and originally we were going to be in Ohio, but apparently the weather is awful in Ohio right now too, so not too sad that we're missing that. Okay, I said I wasn't going to pop those back in, but I just wanted to make sure I had all of them. So here we go. All right. So when I die cut, sometimes I like to die cut out of colored cardstock or pattern paper or things that are already decorated. But a lot of times I just like to cut out of white and just color everything. And my Spectrum Noir markers, they're old. I got them at Tuesday Morning many years ago. They were a great bargain, but I really love the chisel tip on them. And I feel like I can color really fast with those, and faster than it would be to use different colors of cardstock for every single piece. So for my crabs, I think I'm going to use my CR7s, the corals, and maybe CR7 and CR9. That'll give me some good contrast there. I don't know if I need to do a lighter shade. I think I'm just going to start with those two, CR7 and CR9. Do you prefer to do your die cutting out of colored cardstock or color it yourself? So this is that nice chisel tip I was talking about. It's so quick to color that way. So I think I'll do the lighter shade on the detail pieces. I'll probably come back and add a little bit of shading to these. Susan, you said you like to color yourself, yeah. Dawn, you said you do both, yeah. It definitely depends on my mood for me and how much of a hurry I'm in. If it's a lot of pieces, Like if it's a Spellbinder set and there's 30 dies and they're all going to be a different color, I'm definitely cutting them all out of white and then coloring them in. But, oh, I missed one. Okay, so there's the claws and the shell. Are any of you crafting tonight? I'd love to hear what you're working on. I wasn't sure if I was going to craft tonight or not. We just got back from our camping trip, and even if I had time and energy, I wasn't sure if my nails would be clean enough. I don't know how much camping you've done, but I always find there's so much dirt under my nails no matter what I do. So I cut them all the way down and scrubbed, and I think I got it all, but I didn't repaint them. I like to color my die cuts because, you know, I have a little more control and sometimes it's faster than the colored cardstock. But also I just really like coloring. And I haven't had enough time lately to color in my coloring books. I have a few new ones that I'm really enjoying, but they kind of take a backseat to everything else. I think I might have too many hobbies. Too many interests. There's not enough time to do all the things. All right, so the shell and the flower. What do we think? Shell and the flower. Oh no, Dawn, you gotta find some time to get in there. Where do you like to go camping? I'm gonna do DP1, a Dusty Purple 1 for my shell. And for this flower, maybe something, maybe a yellow. How about CT2, Citrus 2 for the yellow? DP1. I have all of my markers in an organizer off to the right of my desk here. They're kind of grouped in 10 to 12. They're in little like cups. Maybe I can pull one out and show you. So the cups are kind of stacked up this way inside the cubby. And then it's a little bit easier for me to find the markers because they're in a group, but they're not all in individual homes. I just set that up a couple of years ago and I've been really happy with how that's worked out. White Mountain Forest. What state is that in, or country? Dawn, I just realized I don't know where you are. My gems. TB2, True Blue 2. Oh, that's a little dark. Maybe I'll go back over these with something lighter. New Hampshire. I've never been to New Hampshire. And Maine. Maine is also on my list. I'm gonna turn 40 this year, so 50 in a decade, and my goal is to hit all 50 states before I turn 50. I think I have 13 left, so I think I'll get there. I have a lot of friends that live back east, and I've been hearing about the heat dome and the heat wave, and it really just does sound awful, especially if you're not used to that kind of weather. And when I grew up in Ohio, none of us had air conditioning because it didn't usually get hot enough for air conditioning. So it was like impossible to get cool when it did get hot. I still need to color my little eyeballs. Let's see. So I guess the solid pieces would be white, and then the piece with the little hole that I need to punch out. That would be the black part. Haven't quite worked out what the pieces were yet. Okay, so I've got the little ones, the big ones. Still missing one eye piece somewhere. I'm sure it'll turn up. If not, I will just color it. I'll color it white with my gel pen. Let's see how these are gonna look. So I do think I want to add a little bit of shading before I throw my detail pieces on. And all I'm gonna do is use that chiseled tip again and go along either side. I'm not gonna do anything fancy. For my claws, I think I'll just stick to the inside. Just keep it really simple. I think these are gonna be really cute with very little effort. I would love to meet for a lobster roll. I don't eat meat, so I might not eat the lobster roll, but I'm sure that they have other delicious food there. And I used to eat seafood. I used to love seafood. So I think, well, and maybe I could even make an exception. Who knows? How often am I in Maine with Dawn to eat a lobster roll? Okay, so I'm missing one of these little pieces. So I'm just gonna color these white. So it'll be white underneath. I have a really great acrylic white pen that I've been using, but it is not anywhere near me. So I'm just gonna have to do the gel pen for now. And I guess it's time to start gluing already. So, oh, I didn't color my ring. I'm gonna use a gold gel pen for the ring. Or should I use silver? Gold or silver, I can't decide. Gold or silver for that ring. It's gonna have our blue diamond. I'm gonna go with the first vote. I prefer, in my personal jewelry, I really like rose gold. But if I have to choose between gold, or silver, I like silver. And I've got a great gold Uniball signal and a silver as well, I think. Well, I suppose if I can't find it, we're not doing silver. Allergic to gold. Well, that would make that choice easy. My skin is so sensitive. It's hard for me to tell what I'm allergic to or what just my skin hates everything. Apparently my silver is also with my good white pen. So we're gonna go with gold for today. Don't worry, it's not real gold. My wedding band is not real gold either. It's silicone. I hike a lot. I like to camp a lot, but I hike often and my fingers swell in the heat out here. So I really appreciate having a ring that doesn't feel like it's gonna cut off my circulation. So when we got married, we went with silicone bands. Sterling is a great option. Okay. When I had allergy testing done, I kept getting these mystery rashes, like mostly on my arms, for years and couldn't figure out what it was. Went to the allergist and he says, and I quote, he says, 90% of the time we can't figure out what causes rashes like these. Okay, well then why do people go to the allergist if most of the time you can't help us? But they did do the whole panel of tests And I found out that I'm allergic to basically every plant. So everything that grows outside, every tree, every grass. Yeah, I'm not allergic to a lot of foods, but just all the pollen and stuff. So take allergy meds every day, and that is how I survive. Oh, and the rash. So I actually did end up figuring out what it was after I found out that I was allergic to every single weed. It turned out that I was allergic to a weed that was growing in my yard that my dogs were getting into, and then the dogs would come in the house and then I would pet them. And so that's why I would have a rash everywhere from the dogs and the weed. So it was ragweed, and I know a lot of people are allergic to ragweed. I don't know if it's common or not that people have rashes or things from it, but that is how I reacted. Oh no. Measles. That would be awful. It turned out to not be measles though, Dawn? One nice thing that came out from the weed allergy thing is that my very kind husband said he didn't want me having allergic reactions to everything anymore. So he always takes care of the weeds for us now. And that is much appreciated. Also, they're under much better control now since we realized I was having all these problems. So there's really only the rogue, few weeds that pop up every week, but we do not let them get crazy anymore. They never would have said it was undetermined. Oh, well, hopefully if you did have it, that means you can't have it again and nothing too bad happened. Rashes are terrible. I got a lot of poison ivy as a kid, and something else my allergist said is that can manifest as a mango allergy later. And that is the only food that I am allergic to. And the way it was described to me is that it's like eating poison ivy or even just touching it, because it's so chemically similar to poison ivy. I don't know if any of that is true, but I do know I've had terrible, terrible poison ivy, and I would always have to get steroid shots, and now I can't eat mango, or I get a terrible reaction. Hello, Elise. We are making cute little crabs tonight. This is a new die set from Waffle Flower. New-ish. Definitely new to me. I picked it up at my local craft store last weekend. And I just think he's so cute. When I grew up in Ohio, there wasn't much mango. Like, I mean, I grew up in rural Ohio, so that was probably part of it too. But now when when I go out here in Arizona, there's literally mango on every menu, so I have to be really careful out here. All right, look at those cute crabs. Cute, cute. And then we still need to do some little pirate pieces. I was thinking the googly eyes would be adorable on these too. I agree. So part of the reason that I picked these up is I got some of the recent Spellbinders ocean themed stuff, the sea themed things. I really love the new seagulls and things that were in the club kits, and I thought that these would work really well with those clubs. And also I'm having a couple of parties this year that, you know, these could make their way into the decor possibly. I'm doing a Goonies party in September for my birthday, and then our Halloween party is going to be ocean themed. So hence the pirates. We're doing pirates in the ocean, so I've at least got an excuse of when I could use them. If it actually happens, I mean, who knows, but at least I've got somewhat of a plan. When I did my shading on this one, it didn't blend very well, so I'm gonna go just lightly back over that. Are you crafting tonight, Elise? We're cleaning the craft room. I love a good party. I love a good theme. So I'm turning 40, and the Goonies also turned 40 this year. And for some reason, I decided a long time ago that that is how I was going to celebrate. I never even saw the Goonies as a kid. It's something I saw as an adult, but I just loved it. Dawn, do you love the Goonies, or you watched it to make fun of it, or was it the first time you were seeing it? Elise, I'm so excited to get to see you too. It's been too long. Dawn loves the Goonies. Well, I'm probably going to do several videos. I don't know if they'll be shorts or lives or long form. I don't know. I need to make Goonies invitations for the party, and then obviously I need to make some party decor. And a few months ago, when I was feeling inspired, I found a bunch of licensed branded Goonies party supplies at Oriental Trading Company. So if you need to throw a Goonies party, they have a ton of stuff. And I'll definitely do, like I said, a short or a video or a live or something that shows the stuff that I picked up. And then I've got a lot of little things to make as well. I didn't know there was a Goonies game. I don't think Elise has seen the Goonies yet. Something else that we're doing for that party that's going to be a lot of fun. It's my birthday, but I really just like parties, and so I don't mind doing a lot of prep, and I just want to spoil the people that are there, the people in my life. Like that's what's fun about parties for me. And so we're gonna do an escape room, except we're not gonna be trying to escape the room. It's gonna be a treasure hunt, since it's the Goonies. And I have always wanted to do an escape room for my friends. When I was in the classroom, I used to create escape rooms for my students. And so I'd make these great escape rooms for my students, and it was so much fun. And it's been a few years since I've had a classroom of my own, but I saved all of my escape room supplies because I always thought like, oh, someday I'm gonna do an escape room for my friends. And so I think this is gonna be the perfect opportunity to do that. Yes, it is gonna be so fun. I think the only limitation is, you know, when I was in the classroom, I had a whole big classroom where I could hide the clues and things, but having the party here in Arizona, it is so hot in September. Like, there is no chance we will be able to do it outside, even in the evening. And so my house isn't that big. I don't really want my whole house to be the treasure hunt grounds, you know? So I'm going to be limited on where I can put the clues and things, but I think it's going to turn out great. Just have to figure out what to do for prizes. Maybe you have some ideas for what could be in the final treasure chest. So what I'm imagining is that there are going to be 2 teams, and we'll probably just split people up based on, you know, who's there at the time that we're doing the treasure hunt. And yeah, so you'll just be on a random team, 2 teams, and then the first one to the treasure wins. But what could they win? That's the question. I really haven't thought about colors for any of this yet. I think this detail for the treasure chest should probably be gold. I think I want to use something different than my Signo pen. It was fine for this ring, but I think I have a bigger gold marker. Brown. Our hook could be silver if I had my silver pen, which I don't. Black for eye patch. And I really don't know. I don't think this eye patch is meant to go on these crabs, but yeah, see, that doesn't make any sense at all. I'll have to put the eye patch on somebody else. Maybe a tan color for the map. Let's see. Let's start with the treasure chest. I'm thinking the TNs, the tan colors, maybe TN7 for the chest. I think so. I could do a darker color inside the top, but then I could do a lighter color on the outside. All right, I'll do 6 and 7 for the chest. Let's see. I really love these broad tips on the markers. So I know there are other popular alcohol markers out there. I'd love to know what you color with. I think if I were to ever switch, or I assume these are all gonna dry out at some point and I'll have to upgrade. I think I know what I would switch to, but I want to hear what you're using. So then this piece goes right on top there. That is so cute and easy. I love layering die cuts like that. This is a Deco Color liquid gold pen. I'm not sure if this was the one I won or not, but let's see. Yeah, so this tip is a little bigger than a gel pen. I'll try not to breathe too much while I'm using it. Smells a lot like spray paint. It does great coverage. Great for gold detail. It's very shiny. It's very stinky. Dawn says she's got a mix and some Olos from Crop and Create. Dawn, I also have Olos from Crop and Create, and I love them. I love them so much. Elise is using Tri-Blends. Karen markers, need to try Olo. I have not tried the Karen markers. You know, I have some Tri-Blends as well, and I love them. It's the same ink. The only thing that I don't love is that they're, oops, they're all the bullet tip, which I do like. I mean, I like coloring with the bullet tip, but I wouldn't have colored that so quick without my chisel. And so I find myself reaching just for the old school single color markers. But the Olos, right? Okay, so I only have the ones from a couple of different Crop and Creates. You can choose what nibs to put on them, is that true? But then I would have to decide, because I don't think I would want just the chisel. The bullet is definitely more versatile. Oh, it just feels like too much to even think about right now. There are a few things I like about the Olos though, and it really does feel like, you know, they were designed for the kinds of things that I do. The Copics are great, but I don't know. I never bought and used any that felt like they were changing my life. And so I always went back to the Spectrum Noirs. And I was buying, you know, the larger sets at Tuesday Morning for $25 or something. So I have the full set for under $100. That's definitely more in my budget than, you know, $6 or $7 a marker. But Dawn, where did you hear that? I'm going to do the bonus day this fall too. I wasn't sure if I was going to do any of it, the Crop and Create, but I'm glad that I signed up because I definitely had FOMO when I didn't do the spring event. I still believe that I have too much stuff and that I really don't need a whole box full of new things. I think I was right when I was thinking about that stuff, but at the same time, it's just so much fun. I think for my hook, I'm going to go with Ice Grade 2 IG2. I would love to get 8 new Olo markers. I'm looking right now in my marker thing and I don't even see where I put the other Olos. They must have a special home that I've forgotten about. Oh, there they are. 2, 3. I'm guessing we have the same ones. So I've got 6 and there's, no, I have 5, so there's 10 colors. class descriptions on the SCT site. I will have to look into that. Well, I'm glad that we're going to do that together, and the bonus day, maybe we can share some tips and some bonus cards. Yeah, these colors are really nice. You know what I hadn't thought about until I just pulled these out? I have almost all of my markers and mediums swatched, but I never swatched those, probably because there's only 10 colors, but I'd probably use them more if I added the swatch to my book. All right, we're almost done. I don't know if you're watching, Scott, but if you're out there, hi. My friend Scott told me that he was listening in on the live last week, but he never said hello, so I'll say hello to him in case he's here. Oh, that's so fun. So I guess if you were using the hook with one of the crabs, you could just chop off one of his claws and then put it right on top there. That would be really, really cute. This has been very fun to color with you this evening. I don't think that I'm going to make it to a card, but hopefully these guys will make it onto a card soon and not be added to my pile of unfinished business. I think EB1 is going to be the perfect color for this map. Although I also think it's going to need some ink blending because that makes sense. It needs to look a little more aged. Oh, Lori Craig, she's awesome. Oh, good. I signed up for those as soon as they opened up for alumni, the Crop and Create classes, and I haven't looked back since. Have fun, Elise. Tell the kids I said hello, please. Dawn, when do you usually go live? I should have waited a little bit longer for that to dry before I did my X, but that's okay. All right, I just need a couple more colors. I don't know what color I want to make these. Maybe black for behind the X's, and then a darker brown and a lighter brown. Maybe this antique purple with antique purple, muted brown. I don't know. I can't imagine what a bottle like this would look like. I'm having a hard time. So I think I'm gonna do antique purple with the BG7 and BG8. So this will be the bottle, and then this will be the backer of the X's, and this will be the front of the X's. We'll see how that looks. All right, AP4. I think it could be fun to craft together sometime, Dawn. So think about if you might want to do something like that. I'm thinking I want to do my lives at this time every week. It's 5 o'clock my time. And for me, it's live at 5, but that's only for a small portion of the world. It's live at 5, but I think that could be really fun. I would love to craft live with you sometime. I lost my colors I picked, BG7 and BG8. All right. If we don't like it, we can just throw it away. No stress. Here's our antique purple. I think it's a rum bottle. Awesome. Yeah, think about it and we can message and set something up maybe. This is the last piece. Oh, I need to figure out what those other little U-shaped things are. Okay, well, I don't hate these colors, but I do think this one needs another coat. It's not as dark as I wanted it to be. So it'll look something like that. It's not bad. Since I don't know what color it's supposed to be, it looks okay. All right, this is an eye patch. That's an easy choice. I have made a craftacular mess of my desk, so I can't find the black I was using, but I have another. And any thoughts on what this might be? So I thought for sure it would be a handle, right? But I think there's 2 of them. So I can't imagine where the other one would go or why they would have 2. Oh my goodness, I just realized I never popped all these other pieces out. I still have the hat. Oh boy. Okay, so Dawn says handles for the chest. I mean, that's the only thing that I can think right now, but where would you put the other one if there's 2? I really like all of these gems and coins. These I definitely think I'll be able to use for my Goonies party, the Halloween party, maybe my escape room. I didn't have any other little coin or gem dies. I have some that are a little bigger, not coins, but some bigger gems. But these are going to be perfect for treasure. Oh my goodness. There's so many more pieces. There's a whole pile of gold. What else did I miss? Okay, yeah, so here's the other piece that is probably a handle, but where does it go? I just don't know. Okay. So let's move these down and have a little bit of space to color them. Guess we need gold again. Okay, Dawn asks if the handle things are the same shape. Let's see if they're exactly the same. This one might be a little stretched out now. Like, are you thinking maybe they layer? I can't tell. They're so close. Maybe we can tell in the dye. I think they're the same. I'll have to look it up on the Waffle Flower page. There's got to be a picture in there. All right, let's see. I like being able to color with a pokey tool, and then my fingers don't get as inky for these small things, especially when it's this like toxic gold ink. I don't know if it's really toxic, but it smells like spray paint, and I think if I get it on my skin, it's going to be there for a little while. So, but I love the way it looks. Handle on the front and on the side. That is a very strange place for a handle, but I guess if it was really heavy, then maybe you need a handle all around. Thanks so much for looking into that for me. So they're like that.
Don't forget to take out your trash cans.
You might have just heard Alexa with our weekly reminder to take out the trash. Yeah, that's... Well, if that's what they intended, I'm only going to do one on the side because that seems silly to put one on the front. But I do like that there. Although that means it needs to be gold too. So let's color it gold. That's a really little piece to color with this. All right, we've got our stack of gold. If I wasn't using this bright gold color, I could definitely see myself using a few different shades of alcohol markers for these and adding some highlights and lowlights and things, but for today, it's just going to be shiny gold. Maybe even some gold splatters on there. So coloring this with the alcohol markers and then some gold splatter. Oh, I think I would like that a lot. Okay, there's just a couple more pieces for real this time. I like that we can pop out the crossbones and then just color the hat black and then pop that back in. This is one of my few Copic markers. My black Spectrum Noir marker is definitely not doing well. It's been well loved. It's hanging on somewhere on my desk, but I have several brands of black markers that I've picked up when I've needed an extra. So someday, maybe I will be on the Olo train and I will have a nice big full set of Olos. But it sounds like in a few months, I'll have at least 8 more, and that will be good. I'm gonna do this diamondy shape in the same blue that I did my other diamonds. I do think I'll go back and add some stickles or glossy accents or something to these. My local craft store sells Olos. Maybe I should just, I don't get down there very often, once every month or two. But maybe it would be nice to each time I go, just pick up, 2 Olos and just slowly work on my collection that way. I think I'm gonna do AG4 and do an emerald. And I I'm guessing this is another diamondy shape. Oh gosh, I don't know what color to make that one. Maybe a bright blue. I'll do TB5. TB5 and AG5. And then we'll be all finished with our coloring. I reuse these sheets quite a lot before I toss them, but when you're trying to see what's going on the screen, it's a little distracting to have all of those little bits. So these are the pieces that are assembled so far, and then we just have a couple more to do now, including the rest of that treasure chest. So I think I'm gonna do a piece of mint tape behind my crossbows. I use the mint tape from scrapbook.com for a lot of things, but if I pop a piece back here, then I can just put that in the front, and then it should stay there. Nice. Okay, there's our pirate hat. I don't know where to put it with those eyes, but maybe this is where the googly eyes come in. Put the googly eyes right here on the front. That would be cute. I didn't color my pearls, but I think that that is okay. Let's do the rum bottle. To decide if it goes that way or this way. I thought originally it would have gone the other direction, but that looks all right. I've been using this My Sweet Petunia glue press for a year or however long it's been since it came out, and there are things that I love about it, but no matter what I do, it is always clogged, and it stresses me out. I've gone through a lot of the Nuvo bottles because I haven't been able to like work it out. I mean, I've spent a lot of time and energy washing tips and things, and I keep a pin in it. I don't know. I've had the worst luck with it. Lots of clogging. But I will say that it does do a great job of what it's designed for, squeezing this way versus like squeezing with your thumb. Gosh, it feels so much better. I'm old enough that I'm starting to have wrist problems and things, and my thumb joint, you know, your thumb is one of the first ones to go. So, you know, I'm kind of regretting my gold choice now, because I did the same gold for this and my detail on the chest, but I think I'll just go back later and add something more on top, just so there's some delineation between the pieces. I really didn't think about that beforehand. I guess I didn't even need to put the gold in the chest. It could just go beside it, but that's okay. All right. Let's add a couple of drops for my pearls. Yeah, shadow, I think that's a good idea. Oh, I'm so excited to get 8 new Olo markers. That is good news. It's almost gonna double what we have from our Crop and Create boxes from the past. So a lot of gold in my chest. This would be quite the treasure to unearth or find in a cave. Well, it's not sticking great to that gold. And then I think I'll do the handle and leave the other pieces loose. That will be just fine. Do our handle. You can probably see that sometimes I just guess where the glue is gonna go. Sometimes I guess wrong. This is definitely a case of where I guessed wrong. That's all right. Okay, treasure, done. Treasure map. This needs some shading around the edges with some brown. We've got our crabs, pirate hat, a ring. So many fun pieces using these 2 new sets from Waffle Flower. I think I have a brown brush right behind me. Let's see what color's on here. Oh, not very much brown. Oh, this one. I bet there's enough on here. Lots of fun layering pieces with this Waffle Flower die set, these 2 sets. It's Happy Crabs and Inquisitive Pirate add-on set. I bet, now that I'm thinking about it, I bet the Pirate add-on set is designed to go with one of their Seagull sets that they released last year. And the pieces probably fit a little bit better than they do with the crabs, but we can definitely make it work. So thanks so much for watching. The hook could fit right over the claw, or we can cut the claw off. I hope to see you again soon, and I hope that you all get in some really great crafting time. Have a great evening. Thanks so much, Dawn. Bye.